Hey guys, so my name is Demetrius Silman. I am the CEO of No Limitations Ministries. No Limitations Ministry stands for taking the limits off what the devil has stolen from the body of Christ. We stand on John 10:10, for the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come, Jesus have come, that you may have life and life more abundantly. Life more abundantly means life with no limitations. So if y'all don't know, I have a book out. If y'all don't know anything about me, y'all don't know nothing about my ministry, anything, guys, I have a book. I am an author. I have a book out called It's Time to Free Your Dreams, or It's Time to Speak, and It's Time to Free Your Dreams. This book talks about my life testimony of how I was seconds away from ending my life. Seconds away from ending my life. And I saw God's beautiful spirit. His spirit came at the right time, and he said, if the world calls you to die, know that I will never leave you nor forsake you. When I was seconds away, when I was like almost out of there, God spoke to me saying, if the world will cause you to die, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And his spirit was so powerful that brought me into tears. I heard the heavens open up, like at the lowest point of my life. This book explains it in detail. It goes through my whole life testimony, and it goes to that one part where I almost was seconds away from ending my life. Man, I on the last live, I had a 14-year-old middle school kid saw this book, and she was like, I gotta get this book, because when you told your story at school, I had no choice but to get it, because it's that powerful. Man, I'm telling you. It's awesome. It's amazing seeing. It's good seeing like older 20, 40-year-olds get saved, but it's one thing seeing teens and kids get saved, and kids be radical for the grace of God. And man, I remember when I told my story, I usually tell my story a lot to my classmates, but one particular time I told my story, it was just one kid, very rebellious, said F you and did all of that stuff, anything, everything, and any and everything, basically. He read this book, and I guarantee you, this book changed his life. I remember he came up to me, and he was like, he was close to going to juvenile. He read that book. He said, man, that book really saved my life. If it can help a 14-year-old kid that was rebellious, that was like, man, I ain't doing nothing, I wanted to fight everyone. If it can help a kid out, it can help you out. And guys, if God is calling you to move to another state, another country, somewhere else, you need to get this book. It's Time to Free Your Dreams, The Journey. Man, it's a blueprint, especially like if God is leading you to another country, another state in the U.S., you need to get that book. It's a blueprint of what you should do. And it goes through my life testimony of how I moved from Dallas, Texas, all the way to Los Angeles, California. It's you can do it. Trust me, with little to no money too. We was not rich when we moved to LA. We was barely making it while we moved to LA. Excuse me. And guys, this book as well. Now, if you're into any mystery books, mystery suspense book, get this book as well, called Higher Temptations. This is written by my wife. Her name is Jalen Silman. You probably already follow her. Get this book. If you're into mystery suspense, that book will have you at the edge of your seat. All of my books are on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So if you get out of this live and go to my bio, click on that link. That's where all my books are at. Every single one of my books that is written is in there. Yeah. So all of my books are available. Man, guys, also, since this month is Autism Awareness Month, I want to just congratulate everybody that's a part of my school as well. As a part of my students, guys. I congratulate every single senior that is about to graduate that has autism and Down syndrome. Man, it's a tough situation having a disability. It's tough. It's tough. Sometimes it's rewarding. It's people with disabilities, especially me and myself. It's a rewarding thing because we see things that a lot of people don't, in the regular mind doesn't see. We see things that nobody haven't experienced before. So that's the awesome thing about having autism. People with autism, Down syndrome, and ADHD, dyslexic, anybody that has a disability, Asperger's, guys, everybody, we see things of grace. We are more adaptive of grace more than anybody else. Now, if you had it all together your whole life, you did everything right your whole life, you was an A student your whole life, 9 times out of 10, it'll be hard for you to understand grace. Unless you're really like being led by the Spirit. But sometimes it's hard being accepted by the world and understand grace, the grace of God. So, man, autism, even people with cerebral palsy too as well. I don't want to just make this week about, autism. About all disabilities. Because all disabilities, if you want to see a difference in this world, y'all need to start hiring people with disabilities. I believe, man, there are so many people with disabilities that are being lowballed that they will work a job and they will make under minimum wage. But I feel like people with disabilities, excuse me, I've been talking for a long time. People with disabilities, I feel like they're more called to be entrepreneurs and to be millionaires more than just working in the custom-made 9-to-5 job. People with disabilities can work at, Kroger's and all of those other stuff. But, excuse me, there is like a calling on people with disabilities. There's an anointing on people with disabilities. There is a power of inventions and stuff that haven't been discovered through people with disabilities. Just because, I remember, I said this on the last live. There was a person with a disability. He barely can talk. He had a speech impediment. You can barely understand him, but he wanted to heal this one particular person. And he said, by the stripes of Jesus, you are healed. And that's the only thing he said. And the person with Down syndrome ended up healing somebody. The power of God is just so powerful. He will use, I said this in the last live, God will use the foolish things, what the world will consider foolish, to shame the wise. He will use the people that are disqualified in the world and will qualify them for the glory of God. If you want to see signs, wonders, and miracles, start looking at the people that are disqualified. The people that you never think that will make it. Start looking at them. If y'all are new on here, if y'all want to know my testimony, first of all, get the book. Get this book. It's Time to Free Your Dreams. But also, my testimony was, I was bullied by teachers and students because I had, at the time, it wasn't a fourth grade education. I graduated with a fourth grade education. At the time when I was growing up, I had a first and second grade education through middle school, through elementary, middle school, and I had a reading level of a second grade reading level. It was very hard for me to read. I just never got the concept of reading. I had a learning disability that allowed me, it was hard for me to read and hard to me to understand stuff. And because of that, the teachers were so fed up with me. They didn't like me being in their class. Not because I was a troublemaker. I wasn't a troublemaker at all. It was because I couldn't read or I couldn't learn up to the standard that they wanted me to learn it. And I would always keep the whole class behind because I was the only one that was the slowest one in the classroom. So I was always being teased by teachers and students that said, oh man, this person ain't never gonna get it. Oh, he's the butt of the joke. Oh, let's call him to read out loud so we can make a joke out of him. I was that one kid, and I really had low self-esteem, and it was very bad for me growing up when I was younger. But not only that, the one person that was my favorite person that I told everything to was my mom. She was the one person that I told, even if I had a bad day at school, if I was being bullied by teachers and students. Now, when my mom was alive, my mom didn't take that. She would call the dean. She would call the school. She would actually fight for me if I was being bullied by teachers and students. And when I say bullied, I don't mean like, oh, they was actually fence fighting me like that. I'm talking about target words, something that was verbal abuse to me. You would never make it. How in the world did you get this for? Like those words. And my mom was my go-to person. But back in 2001, when my mom died from sarcoidosis asthma. And that's in chapter 2 of my book. And I had a whole poem for that. When my mom died, I felt like I didn't know where to go for advice because everybody thought the same way. Everybody listened and communicate with me the same way. And it was hard for me to communicate with them about. So when she died, I was devastated. And after going through a devastation like that of losing my mom at 10 years old, I was 10 years old at the time, I felt like it should have got better, but I felt like all hell broke loose. I mean, that's when I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD. I was placed in special education classes because I couldn't read up to the standard of the class. The teacher that was a special education teacher bullied me so much that was saying, oh, this person will never be anything because you're in this class. And it wasn't just me. It was everybody that was in there as well. They would say stuff like, how in the world did you make it this far and you don't even know how to read? So it got worse for me when I was growing up. It got way worse. My mom died. I lived in the worst part of Dallas, Texas. And it was just going downhill. I went from depression when I was 10. I went through anxiety when I was 10 years old because the teachers would use a ruler. Every time I got something wrong or I couldn't pronounce a word, they would swipe me with their ruler. I went through abuse. And I still remember this. When I was younger, I asked God, I'm like, if this world hates me so much, why am I here on this earth? Why can't I just just go away. Why does this world hate me so much? And the more I got older, the more I started just really accepting, hey, I'm dumb, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid. This is the way I am. I have a second grade reading level in middle school, and I just didn't care. My cries turned into just anger. So one minute I would seem like I was fine, and the next minute I would just go explode if you try to tease me. And I thought that, hey, I was defending myself because of that. Let me defend myself because I need to let them know who's boss. So for years, I would hold all of this stuff in instead of, people saying, hey, you're the righteousness of God in Christ. You are the head, not the tail. You are a genius. I didn't hear that stuff when I was growing up. That's the reason I have No Limitations Ministries. So we can say that to other teens and young adults and kids as well. So for years, I will bottle all of this stuff up, all of this until I became a senior in high school. And my guidance counselor said, there's no way you'll be able to graduate high school because of your reading level, because of your, because you cannot get up to par with everybody else in class. But I remember this. They gave me a pass. That was like, well, since you will never be anything in life, we're just going to pass you to the next grade. We're going to have you graduate high school since you will never be anything. And you're not going to even try to go to college or do anything. So we might as well just pass you instead of just keep on hailing you back. And I still remember this. I told myself, I'm going to go to college. And people looked at me like, what? College? You barely even have a 4th grade education. So I learned more to where I became a 4th grade reading level. But people was like, man, you have to have at least a college level reading level in order to go to college. But, I was like, man, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to go to college. And I still remember this. When I applied for college, everybody looked at me like I had something on my face. Like, why do you want to go to college? This is impossible. But long story short, I know this is a long rant. I applied for college. I got into college through one of my old professors named Dr. Lowe. Dr. Lowe, if he's watching this, shout outs to you. I got in through him. Even though I got into college and this was something that was a miracle, I still felt like I was less than, like I did not belong there. And it came to a point in my life where I was seconds away. Everything could have set me off at any moment of committing, ending my life. Because I don't want to say the other word on here. They'll shut this live down. But I remember my ex-girlfriend at the time. She cheated on me. And it's okay. It's okay right now. I got my wife, 2 kids. So it's good now. So I remember my ex-girlfriend, which I love to death. I was like totally in love with her. She cheated on me with my best friend. And that set me off. It wasn't the cheating situation. It was the feeling like I'm not enough for this world situation. And I was like in total tears. I was so brokenhearted. And I said to myself, once again, this was when I was 19 years old. I said to myself, if I end my life, I don't think nobody will miss me because I'm an outcast of this world. If I end my life right now, I don't think nobody is going to miss me. And I still remember this. Jesus. I was in my dorm room, seconds away from ending my life, and I told myself, I was in my dorm room, and I told myself, goodbye to my family and friends because nobody's going to care about me. Goodbye to my teachers, even though they never believed in me. I'm sorry. I still remember that. I was like, I'm sorry for not living up to your standard. I'm sorry. And once I was saying all of that stuff, because I didn't write it. I said all of that stuff, and I still remember this. And not to be visual, I don't want to say too much on here because, you know, TikTok will shut this thing down. When I was about to end my life, seconds away from ending my life, smothering myself, and I was gasping for air, and I was seconds away from ending it, that's when God's spirit came in and said, Demetrius. And I still remember this spirit like it was yesterday. He said, and it felt so peaceful. It felt so peaceful, so joyous. He said, if the world causes you to die, if your parents forsaking you, if your mother forsaking you, if your friends forsaking you, if everybody's forsaking you, the guidance counselors, if everybody's forsaken you, I will never leave you nor forsake you. When I heard those words, I feel like I went from down here on this earth and exploded into heaven. I exploded into heaven, and I feel like I saw the throne room of heaven. I saw the goodness of God. I still remember this. It felt like I was in a golden room.